Hi and welcome. It's Raphael, and today we've got Karl Urban from the new revamped, reimagined, and quite amazing Star Trek, who's playing Leonard Bones McCoy. Welcome.
Oh, good to be here.
So you do kind of this now when you...
Yeah, that's the temptation.
Is it the temptation to just like do quickly this?
Yeah, I get slapped. Quinto slaps me every time I do that. So, no, not allowed.
Really? Oh, it's
his thing.
It's his thing.
It's his thing. You know?
And we'll ask you about your thing then. So, Bones is the, in the old series, kind of like this, his catchphrase is really quite funny. God damn it, Jim, blah, blah, blah. Was there, were you waiting for that as you were reading the script, going, where is it? When can I say the line?
Yeah, well, the wonderful thing about this film was we have like 40 years of Star Trek material to cherry pick, and I think that there's a lot of lines and moments, key moments in the film that are a direct kind of reverential nod to what has come before that long-term Trek fans are going to instantly get.
Excellent. Are you a Star Trek fan yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up watching the show. I, watched it as a kid and went to every movie when it came out. Loved those characters. To me, it was about the characters. It wasn't necessarily about the science fiction of it all. To get given the opportunity to portray such an iconic character that was wonderfully done by Mr. Kelly for 40-odd years was a little bit daunting, to say the least.
Yeah. When you were a child, you mentioned that you were a fan.
Yeah.
Which character on the bridge did you want to do?
I loved them all, and
right.
And I inevitably ended up acting out all of them
right.
in the backyard or whatever.
So you mentioned there was over 40 years of these characters being developed and the Star Trek universe and mythology being created. What did you need to do to embody Bones McCoy?
That's a good question. Apart from the hair, for me, it was important to try and it was a tough one because none of the actors going into this wanted to do an imitation and to sell the character short by presenting some sort of caricature of what had come before. In the same token, as a long-term fan of it, I felt that I'd probably feel a little bit shortchanged if I wasn't in the movie, going to the movie, and not seeing some essence of continuity of what had come before. So it's a fine line. I don't sort of quite understand how I got to where I got to. I don't like to think about it. I just sort of did it by feel. It's by a process of osmosis, of just taking in, 30 years of watching. Those characters and that kind of archetype, and putting something out there that hopefully captured the very sort of spirit and essence, yet also hopefully was kind of fresh and a younger version of the character.
So you talked about the younger version, and in the film we're actually reintroduced to everyone, which is part of the reset of the franchise.
Yeah.
Was it different for you being a fan to see where he'd come from?
No, not at all. We were really blessed with a really great script, and I think all the characters in the film had really great introductions, and it was wonderful to see last night. As new characters would come into the film, like an audience was going, "Oh, woo, yeah," and really digging it. So, and that was my first day, and Chris Pine's first day was the first scene we shot was actually the introduction for Bones in that shuttle.
Yeah.
And we were both sick as dogs. We had colds, and it was a long, tough day. And for me, it was sort of a bit of a nerve-wracking process of discovery, sort of trying to figure out how far I could push the envelope. But it's very thankful that we had such a cool director like JJ to be there to kind of guide us.
To guide you through.
Yeah.
Are we seeing anything next that will create kind of this urban cult of, like sci-fi following?
I think enough's enough, don't you think? I feel like I'm collecting franchises between Lord of the Rings and the Bourne franchise, the Star Trek franchise. Yeah. You know what? I just hope that this film is received as well as it deserves to be received, and that the long-term Trek fans are going to embrace it and love it, and that it brings in a whole new audience that's never even been aware of Star Trek or never been to a Star Trek movie before, or seen the original series. And you know, if we've done our jobs right, then we will get the opportunity to continue to explore these characters in this universe.
How do you think it's different for the new audience?
I mean, an obvious difference would be the fact that we have the benefit and the luxury of having the most amazing special effects available to us. And I think with a core strength of the film is that as wonderful as they are, it is a character-driven film.
Right.
You care about these characters and their journey, and you know, without it, it would just be a special effects laden film. But that's not this film, and I'm really looking forward to this film getting out there and finding its audience. I think that people are going to dig it.
Excellent. One last question I have. You talked about Bourne, being in the Bourne franchise, and thinking back to that, I barely recognize you, given that you were a very different role, obviously, and you were a baddie, which is kind of cool. And you also had a very thick Russian accent. Any more accents? Any more baddies?
Any more baddies? I don't know. At the moment, I'm just concentrating on promoting this film. We've got literally the next month is flying around the world, doing exactly what we're doing now and going to premieres and stuff. So that's currently what's filling my focus. And then beyond that, I'm really looking forward to see what opportunity and what comes my way.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Karl.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Your time.
Cool.
Thank you.
Take care.